the place where you're holding the most resistance, the fear, is the place where you should actually be going.
But it's scary.
I know, but it's so scary, and I don't want to go alone.
Yeah. So it's a balance, to your point, like just being really like self-aware about like, okay, am I serving my highest desires, my heart's desire, or am I serving my need to feel safe and comfortable as often as possible?
When you least expect it, or even when you do expect it, things turn out better than you thought they would, better than you assumed or could have imagined. All situations lead to your highest good. Everyone you encounter can see your light, whether you realize it or not. And even when you're feeling it or not, it's just a part of your base vibration and who you are. I speak focus into the areas that you want to expand in your life, in your mind, in your environment. I speak inspiration coming from unexpected sources, people and places. Signs and symbols landing in your path to remind you that you got this. You're loved. You're appreciated. Great things always come to you because you put out great things. Loving energy, kindness, attention, care to the people in your life. So thank you. I speak it over you, over your life, that you find everything that you need in today and in the next day and for the rest of your life. That you can just feel open and receive all the love that's coming at you from all the different angles.
Cool. Well, let's have a quick little ground in, check in. Oh yeah. Where we're coming from, mentally, emotionally, physically. Just come back to the moment holding us. Coming back to the breath, keeping us alive. Just tuning into those natural patterns. Just noticing what's coming up. Allowing it to dissipate. Visualizing extending our energy into the ground. Extending into the core of the planet, rooting down deep, and extending into the ether as well, out of the crown, up into the air. Etheric networks that connect all of us through our thoughts and imaginations.
Ocean of creation.
Yes. Blast off. So I highlight the intention of deep listening and clear communication. Appreciate you guys sitting with me. And Billy, of course.
And Billy.
The silent mute. Ever present. Never forgotten.
And we'll just take a moment to listen to what Billy has to say.
A little closer to the mic, Billy. Yeah, we had a silly Billy time. It's quite the Billy, quite the silly. Good people, good times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's been a couple weeks now. What would be like anything immediately come to mind when we think about the festival? Like, I'm thinking of the fire spinning. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Bubbles.
Oh yeah. That was our outro.
Yeah, that was really fun.
That was really fun. You're
big
blowing
bubbles?
the bubble into the bubble.
Yeah.
What did you say?
The big bubbles,
The big bubble. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you made it look so easy that I tried. And I just destroyed the bubble with my big heavy breath. Like, oh, you can blow bubbles into the bubble. Oh, that's fun.
You should get yourself a bucket, some soap, some water, 2 sticks and string.
Get to practicing.
Yeah, do this in the backyard here. Yeah,
Yeah, truth.
it'll be fun.
Truth. Yeah. I suppose it's not a real intricate setup. Yeah. It's a fun thing to bring to a festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody likes bubbles.
Yeah. Like to see him. Brings the kids and the inner kids together. The children and the inner child.
Yeah, that was, I feel like, a big theme for me throughout the weekend was like playing with the inner child. And just like seeing all the kids around the festival, like in their little gangs.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a very kid-friendly, a lot of families there.
Yeah. I really appreciated that.
Especially in comparison to summer dance, or don't see a whole lot of kids. At least relatively speaking. Yeah. Fire spinning, bubbles, Lucas, anything immediately come to mind?
Well, the dancing.
Yeah.
I was having a lot of fun dancing. That Rumpke Mountain Boys was my favorite set, just as far as dancing and
Yeah.
getting down.
Yeah,
Swing your partner round and round.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you guys got the square dancing going.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mara, you were a good partner for that. I was like, I know Mara's going to be down to hoe down.
You know me.
She delivered.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah. What was it about that one that was extra dancing for you?
Well, that's what I'm also trying to explore is what is it about certain styles that make me want to dance and others that don't make me want to dance.
Yeah.
As you know, that's musically like kind of where I've been trying to gather some intel.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe part of it is that I can sort of envision what it looks like. I can kind of see the steps. I can imagine how I can interact with other people. You know, I have a simple way of inviting other people to dance. For instance, just like holding your arm out is enough to, you know, lock arms and swing around. Whereas a funk jam, kind of psychedelic kind of band, they got all the cool sounds and everything, but like everyone's just like listening to the music and having their own individual experience. And I don't know how to breach that with anybody, especially if no one's really looking around and looking at the crowd, looking at the other people dancing. They're enthralled by what's on stage.
Yeah, it's like I'm imagining like an octopus. Just we're all like getting our little tentacles flowing and flapping during a jam funk groove or something. And also just that like the separation of the, have you guys heard about how octopi have like 8 or 9 brains, like each tentacle has its own brain? You never heard that?
No. Yeah.
So the idea of like this entity that's clearly one being, but it's like the separation as well. You know, it's like when we're all dancing, doing our own dance. It's like we're chilling, we're grooving, but like we're connected. Or maybe not. The tentacles aren't necessarily dancing with one another.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I feel you on that. I was kind of thinking a similar thing lately, and yeah, there's something about like that bluegrass sort of hoedown vibe that has like a cultural shared dance in it, right? That's an easy one. You don't have to know like how to spin a person or do the salsa.
You just jump. You just jump around.
It's just a hop around. It's just funny that's what got you moving so much, because there's not even a drummer.
Yeah,
You
it's
usually
true.
associate the drums with
It's
like,
true.
what gets us moving.
Although with the mandolin and the banjo,
Yeah.
you could argue that like rhythmically it's all there.
Oh, the rhythm's definitely there, yeah. And the upbeatness is definitely there. And you pointed out too that the banjo player was even playing some brushes on the
That was cool.
the body of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really inspired me to like get a set of like spoons and start practicing.
Dude, I have some wooden spoons.
Really?
Yeah. They're like it's all connected. It's just like a little spoon
Oh yeah.
apparatus.
But I can teach you otherwise if you want to learn how to hold the metal spoons. I mean, I learned it from a YouTube video. So
Where did you learn?
you just want to watch the same video that I watched, then we can do that together.
It's in my saved videos somewhere.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know you guys spoon danced back in Brazil.
It was in Brazil, and it was during the pandemic. So when you got nothing else to learn,
Yeah.
I learned the spoons and I learned Morse code. Just because.
Did you learn to Morse code with the spoons?
I don't think I can because you need two kinds of notes, and the spoons you can only do one kind. I'm one off.
True.
Because I need a short note and I
Yeah.
need a long note. I can only short note with the spoons.
You need little spoon, big spoon.
Oh.
You got two hands.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, we can get down to that another time.
Sending like secret messages while you're like playing music.
Ooh, spelling out code. Whoa.
Yeah, well, compared, the two festivals, just got back from Summer Dance, and appropriately titled, Except for the summer part, it really felt like a fall weekend up there, a bit more north.
Weather-wise,
Yeah.
It started to cool off a little bit. Yeah.
Was it a bit cooler here?
Yeah. Was this just last weekend?
Yeah, this Labor Day weekend. But yeah, man, there's just so many people. Just like a full concert every night, multiple. But the headliners, Lotus, and yeah, just totally different. Like, I don't know. It's just funny to like compare the size of the people, or the crowd. I mean, we got the dwarves over here, we got the trolls over here,
And the giants on that side.
How was it comparatively as far as connecting with folks? Because I guess one thing I really enjoyed about Good People, Good Times was the friendliness. Anywhere I went, everyone was like, "Oh, hi." Want to just say what's up at least, or just give me a smile.
Yeah.
Did the size of that festival change that feeling, or
a little bit, but not so much. I think they're pretty similar cultures. The hippie vibe at both of those festivals, similar types of bands, similar types of people. But yeah, I mean, with so many people, you're not gonna be like talking with everybody, and I don't know. I think I didn't see a whole lot of like ratchet stuff, but there's the capacity for that, or there's that happens at times. So that probably happened to Good People as well. I mean, actually, we did see some ratchet stuff. Actually,
The underbelly is everywhere.
yes, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I wanted to, at least for me, was that at Good People, Good Times, it was such a small and close-knit festival that you were seeing the same people over and over.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you were able to kind of like see the same people and like really dig in with those people at Summer Dance?
Yeah, a bit. There's definitely like people that would kind of recur in the circle, but I really didn't get too deep with anyone outside the squad. We ended up squadding up with one of our camp neighbors, and we were hanging out with him like a good amount of the time. But other than that, it was like really kind of just hanging out with Christian, my buddy that I've known since before kindergarten, and he was kind of I don't want to say gatekeeper because that's a negative connotation now, but like he introduced me to the festival scene and a lot of the things within it as well, and so it was mostly just burning out with him, to be honest. I didn't go too far out of my way to meet new people and things like that. But there were at the same time, like it was kind of interesting, like because there are so many people, and just noticing like the few that I would recognize, it's like there must be something about our like magnetism that like we're kind of like attracting each other in different levels as well.
Yeah. cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, like going down to I was kind of going off to the side of the stage because it was easier to like sort of dance my way in deeper into the crowd rather than like trying to come from the back end.
Yeah.
And yeah, like kind of saw a lot of the same dancers down there and stuff, and yeah, that was cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I danced my ass off. That was like the main thing about that festival. It was a workout. Yeah.
You got down, got sweaty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Boogie town, for sure. Yeah, cause like I feel like the first Papadosia set at Good People was like probably the one I danced the most for. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Good People, and then the next day, Mike Love. Like that wasn't really a super dancey set, but it was very moving. It was pretty powerful for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely tears down my face during this set.
Yeah, there were.
The song Penniless. Just like,
Okay, yeah, I think I remember that one.
talking about how, if we all were without money, then how much like support we would be giving each other, and like just this idea that money has like this grip on the world and a lot of people's lives, and even myself, and just kind of letting go of that a little bit and being reminded that like love is the true currency. And
It's interesting to think of it as a currency. Like, how do you mean?
I guess
Because it makes it feel like an exchange. I mean, but it is.
yeah,
as well.
it is an exchange.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like equal or balanced, all the time, because it all balances out eventually.
Yeah. There's not a need to like measure it in that way.
Yeah, I think a benefit one difference that I'm seeing is that money has a limit to it, We do with inflation otherwise, right? You try to produce more money, it starts to mess up the value of the thing, where love doesn't really have that. You can just endlessly give. And when we're describing love in this sense, I think we're describing like acts of service. We're describing like time shared together. We're describing literally just like support, whatever it looks like. And so when we think of it like that, we think of the actual wealth that we have in our lives. I think that's where understanding love as a currency is kind of helpful and supportive for people to understand really what they have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I might look around and like look materially at what I have, might look at, how much food and water and anything that I maintain myself on. But the wealth that you really have is, I think, when you like get to the end of your life and you start asking yourself the real questions, like, did I live the life that I wanted to live? Do I, how do I see myself, or what's the last thing that I want to do with my life? And that's what I hear, people say on their deathbed, is they just look around and look at the loved ones that are around them, how much they care about these people, how much they're cared about these people. And I think that's like the truest wealth that you can have is love, like you're describing.
Yeah, and like that quality time spent, like feeling like we spent our moments in ways that we can feel proud of, Yeah, I was a bit scared of getting sick this week because Mara got kind of sick after we got back from that festival. Actually, while we were at the festival.
Yeah.
The family photo of you look sick.
My face was just draining.
I didn't realize you were feeling it that much at that point. We hadn't even left the festival yet.
Well, we were trying to pack up, and I would have to stop like every 2 minutes to blow my
really?
nose.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any tissues. I was just like blowing my nose on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Just like carrying a dirty, snotty t-shirt rag around with me.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's the family photo with Shannon and Jacob. Mar just looks totally.
I'm just like,
like you can't even open your eyes. Or something.
Dang.
That's funny. But yeah, I mean, and it's not even just like an irrational fear. It's just like logic. You know what I mean? Okay, we were sharing a water bottle all weekend. Like we lived together. You know what I mean? Like we shared a car. What else? All of these things. You know, shared space and
your sleep
air.
is affected, and you know your system is working overtime.
Yeah. And I was mostly concerned not about getting sick, but about missing all the things I had to do this week. I've had 4 gigs. You know, I have a gig tonight, tomorrow, and whatever. And you know, doing the gigs, but also the income, and you know, whatever. Just not wanting to like put my life on hold.
Totally.
Having to potentially miss last week's festival.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was on the fence about even going to Summer Dance, and I've been making a point to go on morning walks when I wake up, like before getting on my phone at all. Just go outside. Now I'm like doing some journaling, morning pages and stuff before going on the walk and stuff. And
Nice.
anyway, so last week I was like thinking about it, and I was on the walk, and like I'm trying to treat it as a meditation, you know, like a walking meditation. And I just like was kind of considering like my fear around getting sick and stuff, and just decided to like affirm that I am an abundance of health and wealth. And so I just started using that as a mantra. And like halfway through it, something shifted where like I actually like started to believe it, because like it was first like I am an abundance of health and wealth, like strong arm and stuff, and then I was like, no, I am, like you know, like, and there was like this actually identifying with it, like it felt like a lot lighter, and I don't know. So, and also I got some oil of oregano, which I've been taking, which honestly I think may have helped a lot.
You just like drop it in your eye.
I boof it because I feel like
my
that's...
gosh.
Yeah.
Ow.
We do not recommend.
Do not.
Some spicy stuff. That's some spicy stuff. I get a full mouthful of water and I drop it in. That's what I do.
Just like 1 drop.
2 drops.
Two drops, yeah.
Yeah. So Selena turned me on to that. And anyway, so I feel like with those 2 tools, like something in the physical world and something in the metaphysical world, like anyway, I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Good.
You know, so I just want to share that a bit. Yeah.
Not to mention, you have how many millions of organisms that work along with our body to sustain us, you know, and years of evolution, you know, and it's just our bodies and our spirits are meant to survive. Like you know what I mean? We tolerate a lot and we handle a lot, and oddly enough, it seems the more that we push ourselves a little bit and strengthen ourselves, then we get even stronger.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I've been trying to like reframe my relationship to things going wrong, or even like I was in the sauna yesterday and someone sneezed. I'm like, thanks for that waffle of whatever just came out of your body that you were trying to expel, because clearly some part of you didn't want it in there. I'll take that as my little dessert here in the sauna. I was thinking about it, I was like, think about it like it's medicine, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe like every bee sting, maybe every little like venomous thing, maybe every like little germ is like actually like a vaccine from the universe.
Only
and, like,
making you stronger.
Yeah.
Like every time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like really reminding me of, you know, being sick that week and missing the opportunity to start this job, and then realizing that it like got kind of pulled from my existence.
Yoink.
Yeah, just like, and feeling like pretty upset about it, but also like feeling that so much trust that something even better is going to come along, and that this wasn't aligned, and so just taking it as a little bit of medicine, like, oh, like, yes, this hurts, but like moving on, like bigger and better things, but also just like loving myself up and through that anger and frustration and affirming all those feelings. Like, yes, you get a bee sting and it hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt. Yeah.
You're not just gonna ignore sometimes,
get a vaccine, it hurts.
Right.
Yeah. Right, so it's not like to whitewash, like, oh, I love pain.
Right.
But like, it could get to that point too. I don't know. We can change our relationships to these things.
Agreed.
And my point is that like it really changes like everything's connected, you know what I mean? Like my immune system is connected to my emotions and my thoughts, and if someone's sneezing, you know, nose rocketing some germs in my direction is gonna make me get all clammed up and just like, man, I don't like you now, and like maybe I should flee the sauna before I'm actually done. You know, and that's just like a whole like kind of vibration. You know, that's not gonna be like conducive to my immune system doing what it needs to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if I take it as trust and like to your point, use everything as fuel for the fire of trust and love. And that's why I even like started talking about this, because you're talking about abundance, you know, like the idea of love being the real currency. Like that would be like the bedrock of it, is like this trust that there's an infinite resource here, you know, source, in fact, you know. And I mean, to me, that's like really like in my personal mythology around this stuff, I equate love and gravity as being the same thing. You know, gravity is like the physical force that keeps everything together. Like we all know that the universe is one thing, one entity, one being, but we're experiencing it as separate beings, right? You know, but there's something keeping us together. You know, there's physical gravity that keeps us on the planet, keeps people in our lives, you know, keeps us from like totally just, you know, rocketing into the abyss and chaos. You know, there's something keeping the galaxy together. You know, I just think like one's a physical way of looking at it, one's like a metaphysical way of looking at it. To me, they're the same force.
Yeah. Is that sort of like a symbolic definition for us in the way that we connect with each other? Like, or do you see it as like a more, well, semi-physical, metaphysical, I guess you call it? Like, I sometimes I wonder in these definitions, like, how to understand them, and if I'm understanding them in a different way, because like we have a pull to hang out, you know, we like sharing spaces together,
because we love each other, and also because there's gravity you know what I mean? It's like two different ways of saying the same thing. To answer your question, like it can be symbolic, because everything's symbolic, but also I think of it literally. I think they're literally the same thing.
Yeah, interesting.
The force that's keeping us like connected to source. You know, and they're mysterious. Like we don't have like a satisfying theory of gravity scientifically. And love is, you know, the subject of just about every artist and mystic expressions and musings for all of human history, right? You know, I think they're the same thing.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and it's kind of like make me think about how we can't really control either.
Right.
We can't control the gravity that's around us. Like,
we can fight it.
We can fight it.
Or we can lean even more so into it, and then we get stuck. Attached.
Yeah. So like finding the balance between like being rooted in love, rooted on the earth and the planet, but also being free to move and to change and grow and evolve. Yeah.
It's funny, I think, how you phrase that, because it's something that's I thought was interesting with our experience at Good People, Good Times, because when it was us three, we had a certain vibe, but then your siblings showed up and the vibe changed somewhat, and I think that when they showed up, they accumulated more gravity, so to speak.
Yeah, right. We became a 5-point star versus the triangle.
Yeah, and I would, like, geometrically, that makes sense, but I also think, like, the way we... How do I phrase it?
I'm curious your experience of it.
Because I felt freer myself to venture out when it was us three, because you know, we didn't have to like come back in, check with each other. The only thing we kept checking in on was Billy and making sure that you know, the golden boy was safe or somewhere with us. That sort of was
never forgotten.
No,
never forgotten.
This was our not war banner, but just a banner, just a
brave banner, if you will.
What do they call it? Just sort of a totem. That's you know, kind of symbolized where we were in a sense. But that was kind of loose. It was silly. But you know, we were also free to just really do whatever our needs required us to do. When Shannon and Jacob showed up, it felt more like, okay, where's the caravan at? Like, and like, let's stay close to the bus.
You felt some responsibility to take care of them, or just make sure everyone was accounted for?
No, I felt that your role was very much take care of them, and and I could just also feel that like, oh wait, I want to share these experiences more with everybody, because at that point it's sort of accumulated a gravity to it. Like Mar was there, you were there, that means that everyone else was there, and so I'm like, well, I don't want to go off and do my own thing. I wanted to,
yeah.
So I was having a bit of like this or that, like I kind of want to go off and do my own thing.
Gotcha.
But damn, like my friends are here, I want to share these experiences and memories with them too.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting, the more that we started to grow, how my relationship to what I was doing there, what the festival meant to me, started to change a little bit. It's cool. It's good to explore, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a really interesting thing too, because I'm curious generally how each of you feel about like going into a festival sort of as an individual versus as a squad. But I'll bookmark that for a second to respond more directly to what you're saying. What I'm hearing is almost that like with more points in our shape, now that we're a star, there's 4 other points that it almost sounds like it created more potential FOMO for you, because there's more things that could potentially be happening, or like more of a squad versus like if you leave us, then you're leaving a duo, which is less interesting than a squad. You know what I mean? And like a triangle is easy for each of us to be our own point, or else, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. It's an interesting.
It's kind of like a FOMO. I also think,
so to speak.
Yeah, so to speak. But it's just when there's more, I get kind of anxious at the thought of like all the different, especially here at a festival, everything is fun. Everything is kind of something to explore, like a video game. You go up, you hit X on this character.
The pirate tells you his whole story.
Exactly.
And sings you a song.
Exactly. Yeah, the pirate did do that for me that weekend. Like
you leave with a sample of
mead.
Mugwort mead.
Yeah, literally. So, and so I started to get more overwhelmed at just like the cool opportunities, like the beautiful people that I might want to flirt with, or the fun activities I might do here or there. When I first showed up, I also think I was just like more enthralled by it, more just excited. By the end of it, I was like, oh, I kind of want to deepen this connection here or there. And it started to just make me a little anxious, and I think maybe the group kind of like was a part of my anxiety of that, trying to understand like, I'm committing to this path, when I see 10, 20 different other paths that I would like to explore, and I can't really do all of them.
You can't do all of them all the time. Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah, I experienced just a little bit of that when we were walking Shannon and Jacob out to the car, and there was somebody who had a table set up. They were doing like 3D drawing workshop, sort of like introduction, and I was like, oh, that seems really cool, but like I don't want to ask the group to like stop, but I also like I feel like I'm on this adventure with them. And so I don't want to like separate myself. So in the moment I had to like choose what was more important or what felt more aligned in the moment.
Right.
How do you feel about that decision?
I feel that it was the right decision because that's what decision I made.
True.
And it's like I kind of firmly believe that like wherever we end up is where we're meant to be.
True.
So,
but you also, by that token, you totally could have made the decision to just say bye to them then.
Yeah.
And, hey, I want to go do this thing. Let me say bye now. Because that was our only mission.
Yeah.
It was just to walk them to the car and say bye.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As well. But yeah, it's like we're always doing that, like, what do they call it? Cost-benefit analysis of, like, we're kind of being presented, especially at a festival, there, like you said, there's so many options of potential quests and adventures and fun and fruits and colors, potential connections and all this good stuff.
I was thinking like potential drugs to take too. It's just such a festival thing.
It's true though, in that sense of like so many different experiences too, like different like filters, lenses to see the festival through. And like I bought these sunglasses thinking I was buying sunglasses, not shades at all.
They're just colorful.
Anyway, Well, what about like just going into a festival like as an individual versus as a squad? Because we are always individuals, but also we're we're communal beings. So I'm curious how you guys feel about that.
I would say this is my first time as a squad going to a festival. I mean, looking back to Playthink, the one festival that Mario and I had gone to years ago, we did have a squad and we would kind of hang, but I still felt myself just kind of floating. You know what I mean? This time I felt like with the connection that us three already have, like, you know what I mean?
Arrive together.
The whole home base. And like I said, as like the gravity accumulated with Shannon Jacob, then it was like very much like squad. As I described, I didn't like the feeling of feeling this resistance to leave the squad. I like the solo feeling of being able to explore, hit X, and interact with different strangers and such. But I also feel that the closeness that we've developed from the festival and from the memory, not to mention because it was my birthday and you guys wanted to celebrate my birthday, then I felt even more special and just more grateful that like we have that memory to share. We have these ways to kind of reference to and connect to like our relationships together, because we're literally building that ship and that bond together when we do these kind of things.
Well, I agree. And also like I don't know why I feel like I want to say something about that. You
can say whatever
you could. You know.
You can say,
I'm not saying you already know, but like I hope that nothing about our vibe was making you feel pulled or like, and we all did go off and do our own things at times, so you know what I mean. But
it's only because
I appreciate knowing this about you. But I also want to encourage that, like, dude, go do your thing.
I get
all
it.
the time.
But that's the funny thing is that I think that's the irony that I'm dealing with the situation is that the more I like you, the more
I want to go find someone else to hang out with.
exactly. And I think that's beautiful. It's also kind of conflicting for me sometimes when it's like, what's around the corner a little bit, because I agree with you, Mara, as far as, you know, that's the decision I made and I'm cool with that. And at least like you don't want to be living with regrets, but I also think looking to the future as far as like what I really want, and as we explore like what we want, then it is interesting to kind of ask ourselves, you know, how to interact with this, because I just felt that resistance and I don't want to be feeling resistance in myself. So I'm still exploring.
No, I really appreciate this because I relate a lot. I have a big like fear of being overly attached to people, you know, like getting out of a long codependency, you know. I think we all can relate to that in a way, you know. Like I really don't. I'm aware of my tendencies to want to stay comfortable. And like you said, like the more I like you, the more I want to hang out with you. But that's an endearing, beautiful thing. And then also there's times where maybe I'm leaning too much into the gravity, and I would actually feel more fulfilled if I go do the thing that I want to, like, you know, we all went into it with intentions of certain things. And I feel like I tend to be really wish-washy about the artistry of my intentions, like showing up as an artist and letting people know that I have a thing, multiple things that are worth, you know, tuning into and things. I put that as like maybe some jams will come about or something, you know, versus like showing up and like, I'm going to facilitate a song circle, or I'm going to build a fire and play music, and that's just what I'm going to do. If anyone comes, they can come, and if they don't, I'm going to have fun because I like to do this. You know, I never do that because like I'm a squad guy and I just want to like be chill. But it's like sometimes being chill means that I'm not fulfilling my needs.
And I don't remember you mentioning this, even like especially before when we sat and talked about our intentions and such. You didn't bring that up, and because
I didn't want to be held to it. On some level. You know,
it's nice hearing it from you now, and you know that's cool. I think that's a cool thing.
So it's a balance to your point. You know, like just being really like self-aware about like, okay, am I serving my highest desires, my heart's desire, or am I serving my need to feel safe and comfortable as often as possible?
It's a bit of bravery, right?
Exactly.
I heard this quote, it's like growth happens outside your comfort zone.
Exactly.
And I've seen that over and over and over in my life, and through the road trip that I took, and just like you know, the place where you're holding the most resistance, the fear, is the place where you should actually be going. And
But it's scary.
I know, but it's so scary, and I don't want to go alone. Yeah.
Does this also reflect what we're talking about before, though, when it comes about a fear of being sick, as an example? Is that actually we might be scared. We might be scared, but we got this.
Yeah.
Sneeze in my face. Do it.
I'm ready. I'm not scared anymore.
Hey,
My immune system rocks.
yeah. Listen, I got a rugby match tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have a 200+ pound guy run at me full speed and trying to take me down.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it. You know what I mean? I'm scared. I know my body is not as prepared as I'd like to be.
Okay, well, I was just
know,
going to say that,
this
but you
and
are
that.
prepared in different ways. Like, you've
Yeah.
practiced the skill. You're going to practice every week or twice a week or whatever. You know what I mean?
But that's the funny thing is, like, regardless of how many times the fear is going to come up,
Yeah.
I'm going to show up in that match and my brain is going to go, okay, like, let's do this, but also fuck. And I love rugby for that reason, because I come out of it and I'm wrecked or whatever it is, and I'm still like, I made it through, you know. And every match that I come out of, it's just like, okay, here I am. I'm still standing, or I'm on the ground, but I'm alive. You know,
I'm still standing.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, I've loved to shit talk sports throughout my life, but like, you're really like bringing some clarity to my mind as far as like, wow, this is like a safe container for facing fears and being brave and like harnessing a skill that's applicable to moving through something uncomfortable, moving through a fear, being chased around by the tiger or whatever, and like having skills around fleeing or fighting.
even just the training
I don't know
for
what the
it.
ball has to do with any of that.
Yeah.
You guys are kicking around a little ball.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you gotta have balls.
Yes. It's probably better than any kind of like hunting game where you're going after a live animal.
Yeah.
We'd rather
We're hunting each other.
an object
tag.
for us to play with. But even the training, I think, is a good example of where you're directly facing that, where your body's like, stop, please, I need a snack, like, and you're like,
Snacks, please.
please. Or in my case,
Can't wait for this Capri Sun after the game.
in my case, it's the adult Capri Sun of going out and having beers with the boys after practice. But even in those moments, and your mind is yelling at you, it's telling you to stop, and you're like, actually, I'm okay. Like, actually, if I just keep going, sure, you're gonna keep yelling at me, but eventually you're also going to stop yelling at me, and your body just starts getting used to it. There's certain walls, I think, I've experienced this at wrestling, where like you start warming up, your body's telling you stop, and then you actually break through it, and then it stops yelling at you. But then it starts yelling at you again,
Okay.
and then you break through it again, and then it stops yelling at you. And then it starts yelling at you again, and you can break through it, and it goes on and on.
So how do you know when you've actually crossed the threshold of, I need to stop if I'm not going to injure myself? I guess maybe that's the difference between listening to your mind and your body.
Yeah, my sensors for that is if I'm in so much like pain.
Yeah.
Not even like, because most of the time it's just really your mind, like you're saying, it's
Yeah.
just saying ugh. But like if you're actually hurting, like my foot, like I can't run on it.
Yeah, you're
probably-
getting different kinds of signals or something.
It's
like
a different
that.
signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what a great, real quick, just to say like that's such a great opportunity for you to like. That's a meditation. You know what I'm saying? Like you
It
are
is.
like actively like combat in a container for not listening to the dead thoughts. Right.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Your reflections with rugby are really kind of like tying me back into going to festivals alone. And I think definitely something I've struggled with growing up is like social anxiety. And so going to festivals alone is definitely uncomfortable. And it forces me out of my comfort zone. And it forces me to talk to people and like rely on other people, which is super uncomfortable for me.
Plus one.
So I think there is so much benefit to having squad at a festival and like feeling that kind of comfort and safety of knowing like these are my people. Like when it gets dark, this is like one of the anxieties that come up when I'm squatted with people is like after it gets dark, like if we're not together, like it's gonna be hard to find each other unless it's just like we're at camp.
True.
And so yeah, versus just like being on my own adventure. It's like, oh, I want to go play on the mushroom or the jellyfish swings until 2 a.m. and you know, meet people there.
See what happens.
That takes me into the forest and the sky nets and
totally. Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing about the festival is like it almost like it is like a psychic culture that's bigger than us. You know, it's almost like we were tapping into like a subconscious mind in that way, and the subconscious mind has its own patterns and its own what I'm trying to say is that like those moments, even when we're in a squad, if our soul or however you want to express it, if some part of our psyche wants to go through this experience, it's going to come up. You know what I mean? Like for instance, you know, the last night of the festival at Summer Dance, after the last set, I didn't see my friends again until the next morning. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, well, this is the part of the thing where I do it by myself, and you know, whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, also like as you're speaking about going to festivals solo, like my nervous system's immediately like, oh god, I hate being in that moment of like, I don't want to have to force myself to do something I don't want to do. I hate like talking to people for the first time. And are we gonna vibe? Are we not? Do I even care? Do you even care? You know. But then I'm reminded of like, I think probably the two best festivals I've ever had were the ones I went to by myself. You know, like in the sense of like feeling fulfilled at the end. You know, like I mean, I had great times with you guys. It was a really great festival this weekend and last weekend, like for sure.
But fulfillment
is different than fun.
That's a strong word.
Yeah.
Because that's the reward at the end.
Yeah. That's when I leave feeling proud of myself, which I very rarely do.
I get it.
Especially
because
at festivals.
You know, if this is how you're going through it, is that, you know, you've got the fear and everything, but you just push through it a little bit and come out the other side. Is that, you know, visually how you see it?
I think also, like, yes, but also those two instances, A, they're easy mode, which I'll explain in a minute, but B, like, it was, well, that's what I was going to say. It was easier than I expected. And I think for those two festivals, they were like meetups for communities, like online communities that were already, you know what I mean? So there were some sort of connections. There was like a common thread, like, oh, how'd you get to this? You know what I mean? Versus like, oh, what brings you to Summer Dance? What do you like, jam bands? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a conversational piece. I had some sort of in.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, which makes it a lot easier. I can work with that.
Yeah.
It's true.
I can make friends that way.
It's true.
But when I have nothing other than just like, come to this bar often, or you know what I mean? It's just like, that's not interesting to me at all.
Yeah.
You know, how many times where are you coming from? I mean, you know, there's things to say at festivals for sure. It's a little bit easier than like just being out in the wild at you know, whatever public spaces or in the city and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah.
How are y'all feeling about? Sorry.
No, please.
Okay, I'm shifting
Exactly.
Feel
a
free.
little bit. How are you guys feeling about Papadosio's kind of retirement?
Good
What?
riddance.
That was a shocker. I was like, whoa.
It feels like the end of an era in a certain sense because they were like the number one band that was coming up when I was coming up. You know, 10 years ago.
Same.
They were the big band. They're going on hiatus. It's what she's referring to.
Yeah, I'm out of the loop. So.
They're all dads. They're all rad dads,
Yeah.
and they're just taking time. They're still going to do studio albums and stuff, and I'm sure they'll come back for something here and there. They're young as well, but they're taking a little hiatus.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the last show, their farewell show, will be here at Madison Theater.
Are they from here?
They're from like Athens. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're close
Ohio.
by.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were Ohio like that.
Yeah.
They got like another country kind of vibe. They feel like next
no,
level.
yeah, not for me at all. That's what's
They're
so
cool like
interesting
that, you
about
know?
it. Yeah, no, yeah. But I think that's why I have this connection with them is because they feel like friends. They feel like an older brother. They're like, I could do that. They're doing it. I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they feel accessible. And they were coming up when I was coming up, and first big festival experience I had, they were headlining, and
Yeah.
so it felt really nice and like proper that they were good people, and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the first set. The second set I thought was a little bit of a snoozer, but that was probably just my vibe. I'm definitely gonna try to go to that Madison show for sure.
Yeah,
That's
me
cool.
too. I agree with you. It's like I felt like they were kind of getting big as I was starting to get into the festival scene, and so it felt like we kind of have like grown up together in a way.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's a little bit of like bittersweetness when it comes to knowing that they're not going to be around for a little while.
Yeah, bittersweet's a good word for it.
Yeah, just like savoring those last like little moments, and I got to fire spin for their second set.
Yeah.
And
I was so stoked about that for you.
yeah, that was just like
You had to see it. For me.
yeah. But yeah, I just feel like they like they're like older siblings.
Yeah.
You know, at Resonance, I don't know, maybe 2017 or 2018. Anthony did like a workshop about sound and relation to like color and vibration, and it really just like unlocked some really deep messages for me
Wow.
in terms of like how sound is so it moves through everything, and so
It's all connected. Just to add a little bit to that,
Yeah.
just like sound, color, light. It's all bands of light.
Yeah,
like everything is the
exactly.
same, just different expressions of it. So like to really recognize that as a musician and as someone that works with sound,
yeah.
like to really, and he's so aware of that. You know, like Earth Cry is his solo project.
Oh,
Earth
okay,
Cry.
yeah.
He'll do like tuning forks and different things. Like it's like really intentional vibrations. You know, sound is just a vibration that we just happen to be looking at with our little ear balls. You know?
Yeah.
But it's just like, to be aware that like, and that's why I get so like OCD about what I was calling like music salads. You know, like it's chaotic when I'm hearing multiple sound sources, multiple songs coming from different angles, and it's all coming to my brain, and then it's like, and then you want me to add to it, like,
Right.
I don't know, just it's just a chaotic, like too many vibrations pushing me and pulling me in too many chaotic directions. Anyway, so there's a magic to the science as well. Go on.
Yeah.
So the conversation that we had before leaving for Good People, Good Times, I was mentioning that piece of art that I made, and I never found it. But it was the flower growing through the concrete, and I'm pretty sure they have an album called Pushing Through the Pavement.
Oh, okay.
And so I just felt like it was kind of like all wrapped up into this like sweet little gift with a bow on top, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw that Papadozie is playing the Paw Paw Festival
That's right.
next weekend.
Is that next weekend?
wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was thinking about hitting it up.
Yeah, free show as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to see that festival.
Is it
Oh,
close?
next weekend, super busy.
Yeah, next
Yeah.
weekend.
Got 3 shows that weekend. That's my mom's birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
We played for the International Herb Symposium on her birthday. It's gonna be a big fun. You're gonna be there for that.
Yeah, I'll be there.
You're
I'm
part of it.
dancing,
Yeah,
and I'll be.
yeah.
But
And that Saturday we got Clifton Fest and Wine Over Water. Talked to the guy from Clifton Fest yesterday, and he said that it doesn't sound like it's been very well promoted. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
I guess it happened like pre-pandemic, and they're just now reviving it.
Oh.
But it's like Ludlow Avenue. Like it sounds like a really cool event.
Yeah.
It's a good space.
Happy to be a part of it. But anyway, yeah. So next weekend.
Interesting. There's that stage on Ludlow there.
Yeah.
Is it just one stage over
I
there?
think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like right in front of Ambar Indian
Mm-hmm.
restaurant. And, yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm mostly like feeling the sweetness of the bittersweetness of Papadosia's hiatus because like it being tied to like my own first decade, in fact, of being involved in festival culture. There's something like kind of sweet to me about like closing that chapter and starting a new chapter,
Right.
you know, because it was like I feel like my little like the birth of my hippie spirit at, you know, when I was however old, going to Hoopla in the hills and going to 7 or 8 festivals that summer, and like the first festival I ever went to, it was like, I don't know, it just felt like my birth in the way that like I was born in winter and like in a big blizzard basically, and that festival like hailed, snowed, rain, sleet, like just it was a crazy chaotic event. And anyway, and then just like having these mind expansive experiences and like really like rebirths in certain dimensions, so to speak, but then going into a deep comfort zone of like going to festivals and not really indulging in anything too expansive, just trying to like be a grounded member of society. I don't know, I'm just thinking about like, you know, just certain
A
festivals.
grounded wook, as you will.
Just to cap that off, I guess my point was just that like certain levels of that first decade, I felt like I got into like an adolescence, like a certain like adolescent comfort zone, and I'm just ready to like relate differently, you know, like approach these things with more bravery and also potentially like in engaging in different types of festivals and gatherings, you know, like we're talking about Convergence Camp Out. One of my favorite artists, Yaima, is headlining on Sunday, and it's not even called a festival, it's called a Convergence Camp Out retreat or something like that.
Cool.
And it's like very workshop based, and there's only a few music artists really. One of the stages is dedicated to like open jams the entire time and stuff. There's like a kids camp.
Cool.
Yeah. Alcohol free. Just different type of vibe, you know what I mean? A little less wookish. Not that I get real wrapped up in the wook, but you know. When you're trying to sleep at 3-4 a.m. and you're still just a war zone of
Of opera singing? Yeah. Yeah.
What about that drum solo? That was what got me. I wake up at 5:30 at Good People, and dude is taking a drum solo.
Yeah. It wasn't like multiple hours.
Wait, was that you?
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
But he was playing along to what I was sustaining him and giving him space to solo, so I will take responsibility.
No,
No.
You were asleep by this point. Seriously, it was
was
like
it?
closer to like 6 a.m. It was
Oh,
like sunrise.
Lord.
And I was
Lord.
like, dog,
Yeah.
go to bed.
That's
Some people don't like sleeping at a festival. Not
It's
not
sleepy
me.
time.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, let's go to bed.
Oh goodness.
You know, I was wearing that bracelet all weekend that said "What Queen," and you know,
I haven't taken mine off.
I've always kind of like felt this resistance to being labeled as a wook or like or being judged as like somebody who takes more than they're giving.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, I guess I felt a really big shift this past weekend about just like embracing the nastiness. Embracing the dirtiness.
This weekend or at the festival?
Oh, sorry, at the festival.
Okay, yeah. How did that come through?
Well, I think it was a big part
I
of
didn't see
it.
you being nasty.
Well, I think a big shift was like being on the road for 5.5 months and doing my dishes in a gas station bathroom and, you know, pooping in the woods and just like not having a shower available for me in like 5 days while I'm in the middle of Kansas and I'm sweaty and I'm hot and I'm covered in sand and you know, just embracing this like dirt bag energy of like the idea of less of like what it looks like and more of what it feels like. So I was trying to nap at the festival, and we were up on that hill, and it was just hot. It was so hot. And I really wanted to like get comfy and be in my tent, but it was just way too hot to be up there. And Lucas came over and he's like, hey, you know, it's like 10-15 degrees cooler if you go down the hill. And I was
in
like,
the valley, in the shade.
yeah. And I was like, you know, that's just like, that's a good idea. Like, I just need to do that. But I also want to be comfy, so I'm just gonna like take my sleeping pad and my blanket and my pillow, and I just like laid it out on the hillside next to somebody's tent, just sleeping amongst the leaves. And you know, just recognizing that like, yeah, I'm not showering all weekend. There were showers, but I just didn't feel like it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And the idea of like of being a wook or like a sparkle pony, somebody who takes more than they're giving, is like the complete opposite of who I am as an individual. Like, I give so much, and living with the fear that somebody's going to perceive me in that way is like just preventing me really from giving the full capacity of what I'm able to give.
But it is so liberating to be able to accept things, because it is scary in the perception of how others might see you. At least what's helped me in my experience of that is that I feel it's rude when someone offers me something to say no. And I mean, of course, there's many things you should say no to. There are things that you need to say, no thank you, I appreciate it, like don't hug me that way. You know, there's lots of examples we can think of. But, you know, like, it's just nicer in a way. And if it's like something you might like, you know, don't be afraid to say no to. The person already like took the chance to extend it out to you, and there's so much in the universe that is extended out to us. And I've learned from traveling is like, you go to random places and this person's like, oh, look at this random individual pulling up on my doorstep. They look like they're dirty. They look like they could use a shower. You know what I mean? I think I got that. They happily use my shower, and then they offer to you. It's like, you can 100% take that shower. And the shower is just an example. I'm not saying you smell bad or nothing.
Well, I do. It's fine. I'm just like, woo, okay.
So there's the freedom of understanding that like you can be dirty. Like, I don't need. There's a lot of things you don't even need, and I think that reflects back to the other part of our conversation that was about like understanding our health and understanding like how much we can handle and everything. Like, we think that we can't handle much at times until you push yourself and you're like, oh, actually, you know, I could go more days without showering. You know, I could
or have more energy than I realized. You know, a lot of times for me it's like, oh, I'm too tired. It's like, get moving. You might find anyway,
it'll give you energy.
I experienced that on the road a lot. It was like I was driving, and after hour like 4 or something, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to get sleepy. Like, I could stop, but I really want to get to like this place before this hour, like set up camp before dark. And you know, just pushing through that like initial like, oh, I'm sleepy, then it just, you know, whether it's putting on a podcast or putting on an album or just giving my mind something else to think about versus just like focusing on the resistance.
It's just get things moving, you know, like move the energy, you know, because tiredness, like stagnation leads to tiredness leads to stagnation. You know what I mean? It's like this, like,
absolutely.
It's focusing on lack too. It's like, oh, I need to be in the void. I need to. I need the sweet darkness to hold me.
Right. So I guess
it's like, well, if you never like get dancing with the sun, then you're just gonna be like regurgitating that like depression energy. Essentially, is what I'm getting at as well. You know.
Yeah. And I think it's that shifting that's what I'm pulling from what you're saying too, because like for instance last night, like I just realized like I need some rest. I'm so tired. The trouble is with me and my relationship with depression is like once I sleep and everything, it's like, oh shoot, I'm not getting up. You know what I mean? And I just get stagnant in that. But the ability to be able to shift it and understand, okay, like take the rest, please. And then when you're done, please do something.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Being able to shift it is a crucial skill.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that requires bravery, that requires motivation, which, you know, I think we all have our own individual struggle to our relationships to the free dopamine on our screens and all the things that are hijacking our brains and things. So learning to work with the energies and being conscientious and self-aware about what helps, you know. It helps to talk to friends. It helps to like have silly excuses to sit down and have a conversation and like reflect and you know, whatever. And it helps to go. Me and Lucas used to go for walks at the thing all the time, you know. Like that was such a fun like little bro time for us and stuff. And we would even like exercise together and do the parkour trail and stuff and like move the energy, you know. And it kind of comes back to like the attachment stuff and squad stuff, because like I mean, how do you guys feel about like self-motivation? Like I feel like it's a lot easier to motivate when I'm with people. For me, it's a lot easier to take care of other people than it is to take care of myself as well.
My take on that is the same way you describe gravity. You know, if I show up in a house and the house is already kept in a certain way, people have sort of standards and whatnot, I can slip right in there and do it just like them. But if it's my house and I got to do it and everything, it just takes a little extra thing. So I do believe in the momentum and the gravity of, you know, the energy of a place and how it's taken care of. And
accountability in that way as well from other people.
It's kind of interesting because I definitely feel like I can much more easily cook a meal for my friends or my partner or my parents or, you know, whoever. But the idea of like cooking a whole meal for myself feels indulgent is the word that's coming up.
Interesting.
Like almost like I'm
just thinking arduous. Like, why would I make a meal when there's free cheese in the fridge?
I mean that too. It's like
doesn't require any time.
It's
it's true.
Definitely a little of both.
That's interesting.
I have thoughts on this too, because it's been conflicting for myself at times, because there's often what I hear most is the conversation of like take care of yourself, take care of your inner child, you know. Sometimes like thinking of yourself as different parts and being able to do that. I know we've talked about that before. But I really love and respect that, but I also fear that that's in line with our American culture of individualism and like resistance and like I think my hesitation with all of this is understanding a bit of like our nature as a communal society, as like being very social creatures, in the way that like we best operate is at least like in connection. I think it's like so natural for us to be like that, where I'm much more motivated to cook for many people. You know what I mean? If I have to go and hunt that thing, I'm going to share it with everybody. And to be able to just to choose not to do that and to just do it for myself, it's almost a good thing somewhat. That there's resistance to that, you know, that we're so selfless that we want to be good for others. So at least there's something beautiful about that. However, I know in my experiences, it can be such a challenge to be able to do things for myself that I need to get done because of at least the way that our lives are structured, the way our modern society is structured, where it's like, well, I need to get up and get that job so I can make money for myself and everything. It can be kind of a struggle motivationally, but I'm at least reflecting now and kind of grateful for the fact that I'm glad that we're largely motivated by social factors and that we have each other to receive help and to give help, and it just makes everything flow so much easier, because the alternative is if you cross a line within society, you know, society shuns you and everything, that's what your life becomes, is you rely on nothing but yourself because you're not accepted anymore in the tribe. And so I like to think of it like that, but it's still such a challenge to try to balance our modern world and our lifestyles, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked what you were saying, how it's like a benefit for the human race to be dependent on each other. Because, yes, we can, like, do all these things for ourselves, but really, I think kind of maybe we would all agree that, like, the true the fruits of life are the relationships that we're building with each other. And so
The wealth, right?
the wealth.
Which is only ever experienced on the inside as well, you know. So it's like all these things I like to, in almost every conversation, remember, like, yes and, you know, this and that, you know. It's like, yes, community, yes, individual, and there's going too far in either direction.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's something that comes up for me, came up a lot during both of these last festivals, is the duality of, like, am I externally focused, like in this conversation, like I'm looking at you guys, I'm like, I'm out, you know, in the external. When I'm dreaming, I'm in the internal. When I'm in meditation, I'm in the internal, you know what I'm saying? Like, and at these festivals, like, there was moments of, even at that first Papadosio show where we were all, you know, very heart open, rolling on down the hill into a good time, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of motion, there was a lot of excitement and joy and expression with my body. And then there was also moments where I was like, I'm just gonna be still and, like, just, like, hand to the heart, just like, I just feel good. I just feel good in my body and in myself, you know. And it's like, beautiful relationships are only gonna even move me if I'm connected to myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, our first relationship is truly with ourselves, and that feels cringe, you know, like, but it's also so true, and we have to, like, we have to integrate that.
Why does that feel cringe to you?
Well, just the idea of, like, you know, I was having a conversation with someone earlier about, like, the idea of, like, applying romance to self, like, like, being in love with yourself, like, taking yourself on dates, like, feeling a romance with, like, the self first, and then, like, expressing that to others as a cherry on top, you know. And that part of it, I still, like, that just feels cringe. But I mean, self-love, I'm about it, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. But, like, as in the sense of, like, I don't hate myself,
right?
But also, there's patterns in me that do still hate myself. You know what I mean? Like, and I haven't totally, like, excavated all of those dead, like, zombie roots in my mental network and stuff, you know. But anyway, the larger point was just, like, the duality of, like, individuality versus the community, being internal, focused, like, just literally in a moment, you know what I mean? Like, am I hearing myself talk? Am I, like, identifying with the witness, like the lucid dreamer, or am I identifying with the character in the dream? Usually I'm identified with the character in the dream. Usually I'm really identified with my vision, and I'm out here touching your all's little faces with the color dance of my eyeballs and your, you know, energy and stuff, like, versus, like, you feel what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm following.
Yeah, there's, like, so, like, yeah, the balance of that dance, bringing it to what you're speaking about more specifically about, like, you know, you come from, like, a multicultural background, like, you grew up in 2 different countries, and I feel like I have heard from you, like, much more of a value in community, versus, like, I do kind of still identify with the individualism. And it's true what you said, that a lot of it is capitalist programming, but I think the part of me that, like, really leans into that is more so, like, my Buddhism, like, programming, you know, that I feel like, well, we can't hold each other's hand as we cross the threshold into the promised land, you know, like, it's me and me. That's the spiritual path, is me and me, you know what I mean? And so there's part of me that, like, even before getting into my last relationship, like, I had this expectation that I was supposed to become, like, this Zen monk, this, like, just get myself so clear before even interacting with other people in a romantic way and stuff, and, like, it's like, again, it's a this and that. Like, I went too far into, you know what I mean? Like, it's all about like balancing and getting real with what's real, what's present, versus like these maniacal expectations or standards, unrealistic standards that maybe I have because I look up to the story about the Buddha or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever it is.
The standards seem to be unhelpful.
If I'm like relating or comparing myself to this like pedestal that's really just mental, you know what I mean, versus like an actual lived embodied standard that like I know what I'm capable of, what I've been able to prove to myself. Like, if I haven't been able to prove that to myself so far, what's the chances that I would be able to find that in my solitude? Probably not very high. Like, so I'm rambling, but like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that like both, and I think right now I am in need of a humbling in both directions, both in my solitude and in my like reaching out and being more tapped into community. Like, both could be healthier, you know?
I kind of wanted to like flash back to a conversation we had months ago where we were talking about this exact thing, about the individualism and the need for leadership in terms of our community spaces, and how
nice
when we like really solidify as an individual with our gifts and our talents and the ways that we show up, then when we come into community, we actually are even stronger.
100%.
And
We have more to give.
Yeah, more to give.
From a purer place as well.
Exactly. I started yesterday, and I'm not like 100% like no phone, but I'm definitely on a low stimulation diet is what I'm calling it.
Nice.
So just like really just being like pretty conscious of like how much I'm inputting. And even with just one day, I have felt like so much more expansion, not only with myself, but like with the people around me, because it's all a reflection, you know? The more space I have within me, the more space other people have, and it's just like this
totally
beautiful like reflection. And so just like seeing so many different individuals like in this pod that have so many different talents, and like recognizing that the more that I lean into my own talents, my own desires, my own gifts, the more that I see the outside world evolving as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And yes, it's in and it's out, and it's out and it's in, and it's all the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. We can tend to the garden in either direction, and we need to in both directions, because like if I only tend to the internal garden, then I might as well move to a cave and like, you know, or become a hermit or something.
Exactly.
Because otherwise I would just be like, oh, that dude, you know, he lives in his own planet. Like, he never flushes the toilet. Like, you know, whatever. Like, we're not taking care of, like, the things that we need to take care of in the world. You know, but if we're only, and that's what we've been programmed to do, is to only think about the external world. Only be concerned with our productivity and picking ourselves up from the bootstraps whenever we're sad or whatever it is, or struggling and just needing to just white knuckle every experience and whatever. You know, like obviously we're unhealthy in that domain. So many people know that. It's almost a boring conversation at this point, but it's still needing to be anyway. But real quick, just like I was thinking about the opposite direction. Well, actually, I giggled too, because when you said that you're on like a low stimulus diet, me and Lucas both in stereo were like, nice. We just said it at the same time. Just
That was funny.
we were just like almost from like a place of like not jealousy, but like looking up to you, like respect. Yeah, respect. That made me
Cool.
giggle.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing is like I say that, but I also watched like 2 hours of Netflix last night, so it's like,
Well, I mean, these days we look up to that like it's a, you know,
That's pretty good.
virtue. Yeah, right. Like, oh, long form content. Oh, it's a whole movie. Wow.
yeah.
But I was thinking too about like the opposite when I'm overstimulated by the phone or something. That like, and you guys know me. I have a lot of space for social for friends, socially, and whatever. I can get deep into a conversation and stuff, but like. It just made me think about like if I'm overly indulging on like TikTok or something, like someone's talking, maybe I just want to hold that side of the screen, just have them talk a little bit faster. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm bored of this conversation. Like next time.
Yeah. Like imagine doing that in like a festival or like you're just like swipe left.
Well, remember, wasn't it Nora that was, I'm done with this interaction.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm done with this.
I'm over it.
And like at a festival, you kind of can. There's, like you said, there's so many different people to talk to and different experiences. And then the other thing, too, this is a little bit of a sidestep, but like, being on the dating apps. Like, I've probably mentioned this to both of you before, but like, I never was on a dating app until this year. And like, the way that it's warped my... seeing people out in public. I mean, I'm not that warped at the moment, but like now I'm filtering people through like, oh, what kind of life would we have together? Or like, I'm judging their appearance, whereas like before, just people were people to me, like whatever, just whatever. I've noticed things, but not like on a judgmental level of like, how many stars out of 10? You know what I mean? Like, would I date this person? Swipe.
Yeah. How compatible are we?
Yeah. And it's just like it's so dehumanizing. The way that our phones have like warped our perceptions of one another and
the phones and the app have dehumanized it, but I think it's an interesting reflection when we are looking at people as prospects or just like compatibility there. And it's a funny conversation when it comes to love and interests and such and how to navigate that. Because I think maybe even before like this year you weren't like spending much time like looking at people and be like, like, should I hit this person up or this or that, but now it's like, okay, actually, like, let's see if we have a shot, or then the certain next level, either nervousness or just whatever kind of programming comes in too, it's still worth exploring and talking
There's a
about.
gap and an unmet need in me now, and like being at Summer Dance, like it was really interesting being at a festival as a single person. I mean, I guess that was true the first few festivals I went to, but for most of them I was partnered, and it's a very different experience, like going down and dancing, and like in the back of the forefront of my mind a lot of the times was like kind of like looking around, seeing who else is dancing, who else is like a beautiful, attractive magnet in my field, and like where do I want to be? And like there was moments where it was fun, and there was moments where it was like overwhelming. Sounds dramatic, but like not fun. There was moments where I was like, I don't want to freaking think about this right now at all. I just want to be internal and expressing and dancing and just being, I don't want to be thinking about how am I being perceived, and like, and it was like every little moment I found myself, I would like find my little micro crush, and it was like distracting and draining.
It's absolutely
especially when it doesn't land. Which if you're not pushing for it or not, then it's never going to as well. Anyway, different experience.
I relate.
Yeah, I also relate. I think it. I'm curious to know about your all's perspective being male versus like my experience of going to a festival and like seeing cute people. My tendency is to kind of like draw inwards, especially when I'm like finding somebody attractive. I will try not to make eye contact with them and like and that's just like my personal hang up in terms of but
in hopes that they'll find you mysterious and come talk to you, or what is it just a claiming up?
I don't think it's like, it's not anything manipulative. Like I'm not like drawing them in. I think it's mostly that I just like, I don't know how to talk to people when it comes to like people you're talking to. I hate going into a conversation having an agenda.
Yes. Me too.
What I mean?
Yes.
So like
100%.
How do I bridge a conversation with somebody and have no expectations of where it's gonna go, when I'm also feeling like I could
Attracted.
be closer to this person, or maybe I would like a kiss and I don't know how to like
How do we get there?
yeah, how do we get there?
I don't even know your name.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna put my face
Let's
on
start
you.
there. Yeah.
There was a couple times at Good Times, Good People that certain friends, not anybody that I was feeling like necessarily attracted to, but just feeling like a mutual love, and there was an energy of like, are we gonna kiss right now? And I guess like feeling that sort of like draw towards each other versus like I'm in my own energy and feeling myself, and then I'm like distracted by cutie over there. And now like maybe I've positioned myself in a crowd so that they can see me, or maybe I'm dancing bigger so that I'm like more attractive or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, just curious to know about like from a male perspective how that comes up for you guys.
Sean and I, for certain, have different experiences when it comes to this, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
There's probably some shared as well.
Yeah. But I'm very similar to that. I climb up and I get nervous and I don't know how to interact with it. But something that I was reminded when you were talking about this, that helps with the fear of coming into a new conversation with an agenda. Like, I ask myself, it's like, well then what is an appropriate way to have a conversation with a stranger? Like, what is a normal, natural, no agenda? What does that look like in a way? And the word that comes up to me is curiosity. Literally just being like, I don't know, who am I to say that this is even good for me, it's good for them? You know what I mean? Like, I can still understand and respect my desires and listen to that and understand, like, okay, I know that I'm attracted to this person and whatnot, but how to differentiate or how to keep that separate from the conversation being just that, you know what I mean? You're just going up to a person like,
Hey, I think you're cute.
Yo, I just want to put my face on yours. Like,
You want to smash faces?
you want to smash faces, which in certain cultures and situations is a actually appropriate move, but
Yeah.
but in
Because also it's honest,
Yeah.
and there is something about like what you've called in the past, like Midwestern, like politeness and things like that, where we dance around the bush for years at times before really even acknowledging what we actually want.
yeah, and that's a shame in some ways.
In some ways.
Yeah, and well, at least curiosity and maintaining
I agree,
that like openness to what might be, I think is a nice little approach. It makes me feel more comfortable, makes them feel more comfortable. It's literally showing like, listen, my agenda is like, what do we got here?
Yeah.
What feels good for both of us.
People like, I want to say attention, but that's not the right word. People like feeling like people are curious about them. You know what I mean? Like
interest.
Rather than just like a compliment. Like I actually don't always enjoy compliments. I think that's some people's attempt to bridge that gap. It's like, hey, I like your shirt.
Yep.
Or whatever. Or I like your face or whatever it is. And sometimes that can be a little too forward because it almost feels
Their agenda.
yes. But a question, like, especially an interesting question,
Yeah.
I think people are like attracted to questions. People are attracted to good questions, especially if it gives them a chance to talk about themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's great, man. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But even as a man, I get scared. I take the approach
Especially
of like,
as a man. That's what I would say.
how so?
Go on.
Do you feel do you feel like a certain level of like expectation that you should be like making the first move?
Yeah.
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 Because it never really happens otherwise.
As well.
Yeah, because women don't really approach me.
And also just humans. I've noticed this just in like being friends with friends. Like,
That's the alarm.
That's your alarm?
It's just me talking
So
to
creepy.
myself.
God, this scared the shit out of me, bro.
Okay.
Hey, Mar. I know you're feeling really tired right now.
Yeah, I heard
And
it.
you probably don't want to get up because it's cold. And I'm affirming all of your feelings.
Uh-huh.
You're feeling right
That's-
now.
That's so sweet.
But
I didn't know what it was. I thought
Once you
I
start
thought my
getting up and
psyche
moving
just
along.
broke.
It's a good reminder.
Thought I was hearing the angels.
A lucid reminder, if you will.
All right, we can let's wrap up. But come on back, Mark. Come on back.
I'm back.
I do want to.
I like that.
The
That
cups.
looks. I like what you're wearing. That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You asked the question.
From do you feel like
to make the
as a
first move?
male-
Oh yeah, I was gonna say as well. Just like I don't know. I feel like just being a human that I in alignment with the conversation about like the spiritual path is just me and me. I feel like I have to make the first move on everything in life. You know, like if I want to hang out with people, I need to hit them up. No one's hitting me up. It's not that no one's hitting me up. I mean, like I can't rely on that.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
Like type of thing. But also then socially, the being a man, whatever type of thing. So it's like two-sided sword situation for me because there's this. I don't want to call. There's a pressure, somewhat of an expectation to like be the person to make the first move, but then there's also the fear of being an unwanted attention. You know, which I know that I'm not, and not like that dude. But there's still the programming and fears,
Absolutely.
and like you know, there's a million reasons not to do a thing at times, and a lot of times, especially when it comes to like approaching strangers, I'll listen to any of those reasons over one good reason, you know, even though that would be more wise for me to honor the one good reason.
I just relate. Yeah.
Yeah.
The millions of times I've done that.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, and remind me of your original question too, just like how do we relate to like seeing beautiful people in the wild?
Yeah, just like how do you what's your experience of maybe being at a festival or at the coffee shop and seeing somebody beautiful and
Well, at the coffee shop, I will guarantee there's no eye contact. There's no even thinking about approaching someone as much as I may want to, because that just is not a safe space for me. At the festival, like, you know, so there was this one instance where I caught eyes with the most beautiful person I saw at the festival, hands down. And eventually found myself dancing right next to this person. And, like, there were, you know, how there's, like, balloons and stuff and, like, beach balls and stuff. We were, like, kind of playing that. And, like, there were some words. And, like, there was, like, a mutual, like, smile, eye contact that accidentally happened and things. But I just got the vibe that, like, she wasn't interested. You know what I mean? Like, when I did say something, it didn't feel, like, super welcomed. And then at the end of the set, I, like, talked to some of the people in her squad and, like, kind of made myself available to, like, hang out. And I felt like that was not, like, engaged upon. So that was my answer. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like, okay.
yeah.
Well, I didn't run, so I can be proud of that. You know what I
Good,
mean? I
good.
made little attempts to just be a chill human
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
vicinity.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, there was also times where I felt the opposite, where, like, I just found myself bouncing up and, found a new spot. And I'm, like, right behind this person who's clearly coupled with this other person. But, like, there was a cute vibe and stuff. I wasn't trying to, like, dance up on her, but, like, I felt this energy of, like, her feeling like someone was trying to dance up on her. You know, but it's like, I was just totally in my square anyway. But I was just like, I don't know. So there's, like... There's indicators one way or another, you know. So it's like just being attracted to someone is not enough. Like I need to feel some sort of yes,
Yeah.
some sort of shared curiosity,
The
and
listening.
interest, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the listening.
Yeah, and so there's like subtle cues, silent cues, as well. You know,
Yes.
so if it's not like at least like on a psychic level a yes from both of us, I'm not gonna like take that to a verbal
Yeah.
level. You know what I mean?
Well, you saying
Very
that
true.
is reminding me though that I'm always searching for a yes with people, but I think it is almost
Yeah, to my detriment as well. But go on.
yeah, it's I don't have the right word for it, but it's kind of ludicrous to think that someone would be like yes to a stranger. You know what I mean? Even if I put all my curious, just warm, whatever kind of vibes or whatnot. Not some people do. Some people do. Some people just walk up to me like, yeah, like yes, whatever's going on, I want it, and you're almost like, yo, chill.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
Yes,
sure.
That happened at Good People Good Times. That girl was all over me, and I was just like, whoa. She's already like kind of touching me and grabbing me. And part of my male brain was like, "This is my shot, Lucas. Like, just go for it. Don't just do it. Like, she's giving you a yes. Just go yes." But
it's gotta be a hell yes.
So I'm reflecting on this. No, it was a hell yes. I mean, she was giving me a hell yes.
Not that from you.
Well, what I want to reflect on though is that like I'm trying to imagine a situation where I go up to someone and they give me a yes or a hell yes like that. Like that might make me a little like, that doesn't add up because I just met you. Why would anyone just go yes to hell yes to you? Why would anyone give me any vibes of, you know what I mean? I do want to kiss your face too. In this culture, it's not going to happen. And I think it's actually, this is insightful for me, better to explore just a maybe, If someone gives me a maybe, that's pretty good. That's a really good sign because I'm coming in with a maybe too. Mm-hmm. And any kind of definitive answer, well, a no is a no and that's cool. Then that's at least like a relief that like, I understand you're giving me a no.
Door closed.
Great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can, and even like, I love being able to show I respect your no back to them. If I have an opportunity to do that, then I'm like, then we could even be tighter. You know what I mean? Like we can find grounds where this feels a lot better. But I'm just taking this insight that like whenever I am approaching someone, all I'm looking for is a maybe. Because that's what I'm giving them. I'm giving them a maybe. It's that curious, like, what ifs about it.
Yeah, there's a
I like
tiny
it
yes
too.
on
I'm like,
maybe.
what?
Yeah, that feels much more grounded than like I'm putting all of my energy towards this person, like in hopes of gaining your attention or your affection, versus just like, hey, I'm here to connect with you, and like, if you want to connect with me, also like, cool. If not, cool.
Yes.
And just like staying like, just like grounded and present in all of the different energy that's swirling, and I love that.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, and I think Lucas, you're basically saying what I said, that I was looking for a tiny yes, which sounds like your maybe is my tiny yes.
Yeah.
But I also have resistance towards the maybes because I feel like I'm too maybe centered. I'm too much of a perhaps, like I sent some intentions to Christian before going to the festival, and like, and I was like, perhaps find a cutie, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just this waveriness that is gonna gravitate to a no, because it's just a perhaps. I said,
I hear you.
How's an intention gonna be maybe?
Right.
That's not a strong intention. That's not
if you were like, I might be a wellspring of health and wealth.
Yeah, right.
Like, I could be.
Exactly.
Perhaps.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Like,
However,
your body's not going to respond.
Exactly.
Yeah. But there are things in life that we can't control.
True.
And when it comes to relationships,
Name one.
is exactly that. Like, you need a mutual thing. And so maybe I'm just trying to explore this a bit better, because I relate to what you're saying, is if often and many times in my life I've approached maybes as being like, well, that's actually not going to happen. Yeah. But if I'm trying to redefine this maybe to really understand the gray space there and just how it's received by people, and it seems to be received a lot better. And it feels better when I approach people.
I definitely feel you on that. Yeah.
Because if I show up with the intention of finding a cutie at a festival and she feels that I'm coming in with this intention,
intensity as well,
get away from me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I guess I just want to say that, like, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a like difference between intention and just vibe. I think you're speaking on a vibe, which is my vibe. And you're saying maybe, but I'm going to reframe it as open. I'm open to something happening or not happening.
Yes.
And I can have an intention, a strong intention, still be open to it not happening.
Yes.
And not, I'm not a forceful person.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to white knuckle an intention like that. But having a strong intention is different than this, like, maybe
Yeah.
I'd be open to. Maybe I'd be open.
I like that.
Versus
That's-
I am open. I want this actually.
Good.
You know what I mean?
That's a much better word and definition. And
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, we better
Yeah,
wrap
we
it
should
up.
probably wrap
so
it up.
Let's. I like to end with just a opportunity for everyone just to give a highlight or anything that you didn't get a chance to say from the conversation. Anything that stood out. Best is always like a action step that we could take into the future. It's always preferable. But anything at all?
One thing that stood out was just like love being this like true essence currency, and viewing new connections as potential versus like this structure that my mind's creating. So.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
I gravity that.
I gravity that.
Yeah. There's the conversations of love. There's conversations of pushing through, right? Bit of understanding the fear and how to meet that energy. That last bit we're talking, it was really insightful for me as far as exploring other people and trying to manage that, because it connects to the conversation we have, I think, with the gravity of the group too, and just understanding my intentions or how to navigate like my desires, because I was stressing about, there's 20 different trails I want to take.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it at least feels better that if I'm open to certain trails and give myself permission to that, then I know how to navigate it a little bit better. So, I don't know. A lot of takeaways. I mean, nothing I haven't said already. I'll just be repeating myself.
Just a little highlight session. I love it.
What you got?
I'm actually going to bring up something new that I was kind of thinking in the beginning of the conversation when you mentioned like the children at the festival and like the inner child that came through and stuff, and I'm just looking at Billy, and there were several times in this conversation that I was just giggling to myself, and you guys are probably just like, what are you like smiling so hard about right now? It's 'cause I keep seeing fucking Billy and it just makes me so happy and joyous. And basically what I want to highlight and also bring up is just the idea of like the silliness behind all this and like the fun and play,
But goofiness too.
No, I'm gonna go with silliness on this one.
Yeah, you're either team goofy or team silly.
I'm
There's
big
no
time silly Billy. No teams involved, just silly Billy. We got Billies, we got Bobs. Anyway,
goofy
just
Bobs.
the playfulness, because that can be applied to all of these different conversations.
Agreed.
We can have playfulness and being an individual, being community. We can have playfulness and me wanting to be more of an artist at festivals and having more of a mission. Like I'm too serious about it, and it creates tension in me. It creates this, PDA, like pathological demand avoidance, where I feel these demands for myself, and I just don't want to do them because I'm taking them too seriously. Whereas like if it was a playful Billy energy around it, like you can't fuck it up if it's a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. So I just think that could be applied to all of it. Like meeting new people, like, let's just press X on this cutie. Like, find out, They turn into an NPC, great. I'm glad I know now.
Yes.
Like, attraction diminished.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
True.
so yeah. I love
It
that.
mirrors the openness too, the playfulness and the openness.
Exactly. Okay. Gravity triangle.
My hands are so sweaty.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Much love.
I gravity you guys.
Gravity, you guys.
Gonna plant a weeping willow where the water's green and she will flow. Sing your sweet lullaby. Others come and go. River flow, flow. Fare you well, love you more than words can tell. da da